Hello everybody, this is the second long form video on this channel, and it is going to be a book review on Twisted. This book was made by TS is Tough, or This Shit is Tough, and I recommend going to watch the book before you watch this review for no spoilers. I do intend to skip around a little bit here and there. Only the first few pages are going to be in order. Other than that, it's going to be skipped around, and I recommend reading the book before watching this. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So, the book, we start off in Pinecrest, Miami. This would be chapter 1, hunting season, and so they're starting around a time at 11 p.m., and Kathy and Christy on a call. Now, I don't know how I feel about these characters, as Kathy has, no screen time at all and gets fucked up immediately after. And Christy is, you'll see, I'll talk about Christy more. But Kathy I feel like she could have had a little bit more screen time than just 5 fucking seconds of screaming and crying. And then at first I was like, was it Noah, her son? But then I was like, it couldn't be, he's in the dorm. And then in this scene I was also thinking maybe it's the husband, Dave, which apparently he's not there. So as I was wondering what it could be, who it could have been, I go back to thinking about the killer, but we haven't seen him make an appearance yet, so I was wondering what was going to happen in this next scene coming up. This is when I started to get a little excited in the book, when the police arrive to Kathy's house. Now, I know I said that Kathy should have had some more screen time, but this part right here makes me want to go back on that, and I really like what the writer did with this scene here. The 2 police officers get there, and they go up the stairs, and then, the one goes up the stairs, which is Tom. Now, Tom, I feel like he would have been a really good character if he would have survived. And another thing, when, this is such a badass moment from the killer, who, sneaks up behind Tom and starts beating the shit out of him, pretty much. And, Tom just tries to fight back, but, it's no use. And then Philip, who I feel like is kind of retarded, should have called back up earlier and went upstairs to help Tom instead of waiting. Probably would have been a smarter idea. But, other than that, I mean, I feel like Philip should have probably, been, smart and ran away, or went and helped Tom. Either way, it probably would have been better than just them going out one by one. I mean, that gives the killer all the opportunity to just take you out, and yeah. And then we get to where all the rest of the officers arrive, and both Tom and Philip are dead, along with Kathy, and I guess the killer's been gone for 13 years, and he finally reappears. And now, introduce a couple more characters, like Charles, Zink, and Alan. Now, I don't know how I feel about these 3 characters. I mean, I like Captain Zink, but not really the other ones. Now we get into chapter 2. We get the new faces of Leland, Evan, and Mark come into this chapter, along with a few others like Smitty and I think Drago, I don't know how to say his name. Evan just kind of seems like a deadbeat. Leland, I'm surprised even is able to stay with in a college dorm. And yeah, other than that, I mean, there's not much I can say about this. And then Mark comes to their door, I guess, wondering, because he's, I guess, stupid in this and doesn't know where the track is. Now, Mark, I feel bad for Mark, because his mom is Christy, and Christy's kind of a bitch to him, like a dickbag. So, I feel bad for Mark in most of the time in this book, and then I just look back at Kathy and I feel like, yeah, she deserved that. Now we're into where Christy gets off the phone with Mark, and she's downing a bottle of beer, or Crown Royal, and then I guess the killer shows up at her door, back door, and she opens it, thinking it's Mark, and then she tries to run away, and that doesn't end very well for her, I guess, as she goes upstairs, because the killer throws her back in, which is such a cool moment in this book, and she tries to hide, but I don't feel like she probably would have had a just better chance of jumping out of the window. Other than that, there's not much more to say about this part, or in general about anything about this scene, other than Christy kind of got what she deserved for being a piece of shit mother. And then we get into chapter 3, which Mark is at his house. Mark tries to find his mom. He goes to his mom's house, and he's trying to look for her. He goes upstairs, and he finally finds his mother, which, I mean, is a pretty good part, I guess. Mark pretty hurt about his mother being dead, and just this next scene's like pretty cool when the murderer, or Twisted, comes out and starts beating the shit out of Mark. And I'm like, dude, Mark weighs 195 pounds, and this guy's just throwing him around and beating the shit out of him like he's nothing, like he's just a feather. That just goes to show how strong the Twisted is, and how, I don't know, how much endurance he has and stamina compared to the other things. Just he's a supernatural, that's just how you can see how supernatural he is. Then we get later on where Mark was able to actually do stuff and hit the Twister, and, I mean, obviously does fucking nothing, as the Twister is way stronger and more durable than Mark thinks. And I don't really have much more to say about this, other than Mark's getting his ass beat pretty bad. Then Evan and Leland get there, and they have guns. They go and they try to find Drago, which is one of their friends that they raced against, looking for a way to kill the Twister. Now, I like how they plan to kill him. The only problem is, I feel like in this scene, is that they didn't have a plan. Now, Mark tries to shoot, they try shooting him, and then Evan, I wish Evan would have had more time in this book, other than, 3 minutes. He got stabbed, instantly, after poking around at a bush. I feel bad for Evan, although he was not very liked, I guess, in this book for me. I was hoping he would have had a little bit more time. Then, they supposedly, they think they killed the Twister, but, they kill the Twister, that's pretty good, but they think they kill him. As in the next scene, he comes back to life. Well, he wasn't even actually dead, he was probably just knocked out. And the captain arrives, congratulating them pretty much, and then we get to Officer Allen. And I just feel like he's a douchebag, and this is why he's one of my least favorite characters in this book. And I wish he would have died. Because he's just such a douche. And then we have Captain Zink, who is a G for saying who gives a shit. And they get him, they take the Twister in an ice box in a ambulance. So I don't know what they were going to do with the Twister once they got him. And then, as they're driving in the ambulance, the Twister breaks out of the box. I think he kills Officer Allen, and I think he kills the drivers. Well, Jonathan. And then Brady, he has 5 seconds of screen time, but somehow survives. Gets out alive, which is such a cool moment in this book too, because he gets out and he escapes. Now, Smitty, which is the other character that I talked about, he did racing with Mark and Evan and Leland. They get here to Noah's place, they're at the hospital, but they went to the hospital. They get out of the hospital. Now they're at, I think, Noah's place or Mark's place. They're at one of the places. Mark's place or Draco's place. And they go upstairs to find the Twister. And the Twister, another show of, like, his strength and supernatural abilities, he starts throwing around David, who is 210 pounds, whilst grabbing Noah. And it's just unheard. And this is, like, really, like, another cool part about this. And he just starts beating the shit out of Leland. He snaps Leland's arm, and it's like, ooh, I felt Leland's pain there. Then Officer Allen gets there. They get there, and sadly, Leland dies, which I feel really sad, as he was one of my favorite characters in the book. And unfortunately, the Twister gets away. And I mean, poor Leland. He was my favorite character in the book, other than Mark. And I hope that in the next book we see Mark avenge Leland. Now, we get to this part, and this is like the very end. They all go to the hospital, and I mean, there's not much I can say other than I would rate this book a solid 9 out of 10. There was like some parts that I really loved, and there was like 1 or 2 parts that I was like iffy with. But other than that, I really like this book, and I hope that you guys will enjoy this book too, or if you did read it, you enjoyed it. There's not much else I can say other than have a good day and a good night. Also, make sure to like and subscribe to TS is Tough, and like and subscribe to my channel, TS Ain't Tough. I would also like to say that he puts a lot of effort into his books, and so do I, so we would appreciate if you guys would drop some feedback, positive feedback.
Make sure to go check out This Shit Ain't Tough's channel, or TS Ain't Tough channel. He just recently made a book and an episode of his new show, and they're both peak. You should definitely go check him out. Subscribe to him, like his videos, do whatever. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next one. God bless.